Okay, ready to get started with the second half, and some of you the first half have joined us for the research review. I'm going to take you through some lead-in slides on sort of just the high-level overview of Mcity. Our model, as I'm sure you well know, is an industry, government, academia partnership working together to address mobility challenges. What Mcity is, in a nutshell, is a couple things. One is an ecosystem, right? That's what this is here. Sort of getting all the different industry, academia, and government partners together, because some projects are better done together, right? When we leverage the strengths of each of those areas, we get better outcomes. Mcity is also a research framework. That's in large part what my job is at the research director, and we'll talk about in the slides some of the research thrusts that we've been going after. Mcity is also a makerspace. So the idea here is innovators who have good ideas often don't ever see their good ideas become real because they don't have the things you need. They don't have a test track, they don't have AVs, they don't have a data engine, they don't have a compute cluster, they don't have all the things that can make their idea real. And that's what we've put together at Mcity, is a makerspace to allow that to happen. So sort of in a very frictionless way, going from a good idea to actually a working implementation. We're going to talk a lot today about the safety assessment, but one of the biggest voids in the AV space right now is consensus on how good is good enough. And that's a contentious area, and we're going to talk a lot about it. And then, the final thing is, one of the blessings of University of Michigan is our outstanding students and academic researchers who are mentoring those students. And so industry partners get a built-in ability to work with students. What I always say is anybody can fake their way through an interview, but nobody can fake their way through an internship, right? So, Mcity gives you lots of opportunity to engage directly with students, which is your future pipeline. So we're going after a number of interesting challenges. I think if we look at, our history, right, it started out everything was human labor, and then the first industrial revolution was machines started doing the muscle work that humans were doing. And then, the second industrial revolution was things like the assembly line, where machines and humans started working together on things in a more structured way. And then the third industrial revolution is when everything became digital and computerized. And that really sort of brought in the AI revolution in that third one. And the fourth one that we're working on really is AI coming out of the data center into the world, right? So, the AIs that exist right now run in data centers on GPUs, but AI in the future is becoming mobile. So it'll go out into the world in self-driving vehicles. It'll go out into the world in industrial robots. It'll go out into the world in drones. And that changes what AI can do, right? Because AI that's now aware of what it's like to move in space and time is different than AI that's only ever lived in a data center. So it's the next wave that's coming. It makes us all a little bit nervous, but it is what's happening, and so we should be engaged in the discussion. The architecture of Mcity, I think, hopefully people are fairly well aware of. We have the physical track. We have all the assets on the track. We have cloud services on AWS. Verizon has provided us very high-speed communication between the two. And then all of that is available to remote users so that a researcher at University of Buffalo doesn't always have to come to Mcity to do their experiments. They can be running their research at University of Buffalo, leveraging all of the Mcity assets. The research trends that I've identified there's 3 of them basically, 2 on this slide, 1 on the next slide. But, the one that really is informing Mcity 2.0 is this convergence of physical and digital realities, right? Where everything's becoming digitized, where, you have not only a physical track, but you have an exact synchronized digital twin of that track, right? And the acceleration in communication technologies has made it that those can stay very tightly synchronized. As we were talking in this morning session, the ultra wideband service that we have with Verizon, we can get data from our test vehicles onto the AWS backbone in 9 milliseconds, right? So it's really very instantaneous at this point. That kind of connectivity and bandwidth is really important. Next trend is artificial intelligence for safety critical applications, because that's tremendously different than just artificial intelligence for an app on your phone that can fail and hallucinate, and it's not that big a deal, right? Artificial intelligence and safety critical applications needs to be done at a much higher level of safety assurance. And so, we are putting in place a lot of things, and we'll talk a lot about simulations role in that as well today as we go through the presentations. And then another one that we'll have a much deeper dive on in the presentation is infrastructure-assisted autonomy. We're going to talk today about depot autonomy specifically, but another area where infrastructure and autonomy is converging is in situations like the intersection scenarios. If you think about what happens in intersections, there's a relatively small, thankfully, number of accidents that happen, and we know about those accidents because they're police reported. But for every accident that happens, there's probably hundreds of near misses that never get reported, but still give us useful knowledge about, is this intersection a safe intersection or not, right? And so how can we use the existing infrastructure that the city of Ann Arbor, in this case, has already put in, right? These grid smart cameras, you can see them at almost all the intersections around the city. How can we use AI techniques on top of those cameras to find the near misses to inform city of Ann Arbor which intersections have more sort of structural problems that could be fixed? Like, this would be a good place for a crosswalk flasher, right? So that's going to be the third trend, infrastructure-assisted autonomy. And with that, I'm going to pass to our next presenters. This morning, for those who are here, you heard me talk about our 10 Mcity 2.0 projects that we're doing this year, funded by NSF. And our first one that we're going to give you an in-depth preview here of is our University of Buffalo team.